Welcome to this special show, 2021 Crystal Ball. What does 2021 have in store for us? A nightmare of a year has ended, 2020. Will the bad fortunes continue in 2021, or will we finally have some good news, particularly on the coronavirus front? I'm going to be joined by some top astrologers. First, going across to Nandita Pandey, an astrologer and tarot guide who's joining us on this broadcast. A very happy new year to you, Nandita. I'm going to start off with my question of what everyone's asking right now. When will the pandemic end, according to you?
Thank you, Akshita, and a very happy new year to you and to the entire audience of India today. May this new year bring you a lot of good health, peace, and prosperity in life. And good health is like triple underlined. Anyway, as far as pandemic is concerned, and in 2020, I had been talking about this. Rather, in 2019, I was saying that there will be mass illness and mass destruction in 2020, not figuring it out to COVID kind of a virus. But yes, I was anticipating a huge mass destruction, and this I have been writing it on my videos and my blogs. The pandemic, as far as the important question is concerned, I still would want you to keep your guards on, because 2021 this still will persist, and the reason is astrological, because Saturn and Pluto are together. Whenever Saturn and Pluto have been together, they create pandemic like situation, and this one can figure out from, if we go back into the history, whether it was Spanish influenza in 1918. That time Saturn Pluto were together when there was a mass destruction in 1945 to 47. Saturn Pluto were together when there was an HIV virus outbreak. Saturn Pluto were together. And again, now they've come back together. They had weaned off in between for some time, for a few months, but in January, like this January onwards, they will come back together till mid-April 2022. So I would not want you to take it lightly. Pandemic, in some form or the other, would still persist, some mutant form. In fact, the new mutant that has come up, I had been talking about this in my last March video also in 2020, where I was saying a new mutant around November will come up, and one has to be extremely careful.
No, you know, what you're putting out is a very important message, Nandita, and this is something we have to highlight here. While we ask questions of when the pandemic will end, we have to ensure that in 2021, we are very, very careful, and it's important to keep highlighting that. I just want to get in a word also.
But it is not going to go out completely. It will be there, and it will only wean off after the Saturn Pluto weans off in end of April 2022. One needs to be careful till then.
Okay, so Sheila M. Bajaj, celebrity numerologist, is also joining us on this broadcast. Sheila, Happy New Year to you. Is it going to be a happy 2021?
A very happy New Year to you too. And yes, I wish that 2021 is going to bring a whole new energy to people out there. I am actually not in India right now, so we have a time difference.
Okay, sure. So, but what is your prediction, Sheila, about what's going to happen in this year? Because, you know, we're just speaking to Nandita. She's saying that perhaps till 2022 April, things won't really fare too well for us. And this is astrologically speaking. Do you believe the same, that this year, through the year, we're going to see coronavirus?
I'm looking at the cards, and I'm also going to talk about numerologically, you know, the different aspects of what the planets are really doing. 2021 is going to be a few shades better than 2020 was. Okay. Excuse me. And it is going to be slightly better. But I still do see, my cards also tell me that, you know, the pandemic is going to continue in some form or the other. I also see two other events that are going to occur in this year, you know, that's coming up. I know it's not great news. Even at the beginning of 2020, I did talk about 2020 being a year of Rahu, number 4, ruled by Rahu. So hence it was going to have some kind of a crazy thing happening. Even though this year, we're already in Jan 1st, even though 2021 is ruled by Mercury, which is, you know, supposed to be really good and awesome and amazing. And, you know, it's not going to be as bad as the Rahu year. My cards do tell me, I do a combination of the two. My cards do tell me that there is going to be some kind of chaos. There is going to be, this pandemic is going to continue. But, you know, the consciousness of the planet is changing. So it's like a cleansing phase. My cards are telling me that, you know, it's almost like putting yourself in a washer dryer cycle. And so people are going to feel like things are going out, but then are new things coming in. There's going to be some natural disasters, but it is going to continue. I'm
And
afraid in
Sheila,
some
I
form
think
or
we
the
all
other.
knew that going into 2021, the pandemic would continue because the vaccine isn't here in India yet. But having
Yes.
said that, the hope is for many people that by about April, May of this year, things will settle down, that things will get better. Do you see that happening?
Yes, it will start getting better. I
Okay.
do see a positive turnaround. But yes, like I said, the energies of the year is also showing me some kind of chaos. So whether it's the pandemic or something else, there is going to be some form of chaos that's also going to unfold. So it just, but yeah, it is going to get better. I'm going to say that I'm going to be a little more optimistic here. It is going to definitely get better than it was.
Okay, fingers crossed that is the case because I think most of us have had enough. We're so
Yes.
happy to be rid of 2020 and hope positivity enters 2021. Another question, another time I want to bring you in on this. Another question that's most asked right now as we enter 2021 is, will we get the vaccine finally? Many countries have already started getting it. In India also, can we expect that the vaccine rollout will happen and that everyone will be able to get the vaccine?
Yes, the vaccine would start coming in, but not as soon as early as people are expecting, like in January, February. No,
Okay.
I've been reading newspapers where they've been talking about that there is a storage of vaccine, but by the time they are rolled out, I still see the transition happening after 6th of April because Jupiter is transiting from its neat, debilitated state to a positive one, a slightly positive one, not much, but on 6th of April, Jupiter is going to Aquarius. When Jupiter transits to Aquarius, it weans out from that Nijabhanga yoga that it has created with Saturn. And as it rolls out, then from April, May, and mid-June, things are going to be better. From 20th of June to 11th of October, again, we have a tough time there. And a few other things might escalate, like Sheila was saying, and I do see that kind of chaos happening. But from 1st November onwards, slowly things will start sliding out. So vaccine, I say summers would be the time when vaccine would be commercially available or would be available to general public, not before that.
Okay, I just want to introduce also our next panelist who's joining us now, Anupam Kapil, celebrity astronumerologist, is also with us on this broadcast. Anupam, thank you for joining us. Wishing you a very happy new year. Right now, everyone's talking about health, about wellness, because we're dealing with a pandemic. Is it going to be a healthy 2021? Your first views?
First of all, wish you and all the
Thank
viewers
you.
of India to be very happy and healthy New Year 2021. 2021 adds to a 5 is the number of Mercury. Mercury rules over the sign of Gemini and Virgo. Virgo in the Kal Purush Kundli has to do with health and hygiene.
Okay.
Yes, 2020, we all are saying goodbye 2020, but 2021 is also no less troublesome in the first half. But I see after the change of Jupiter from mid-April to September, that period is going to get some relief. But since India's Rashi is Karka Rashi and 5 planets are situated in that. So even when Jupiter goes to Aquarius, it will still be going in the 8th house. So right now the 6th Lord and the 6th Lord and the 8th Lord, that is Shani and Jupiter, both have joined in the 7th house, which is not a very conducive thing. As we were talking about vaccines, yes, I do expect the vaccine to come, but I cannot be guaranteeing you on the safety part of the vaccine. This I've been speaking since last year. And last year also I had said that a new strain of this particular coronavirus or a new disease is going to come in November, December. This has happened. Now people want to know whether it's going to be as deadly as this earlier one. I think the deadly part is going to get confined to now and the month of April. Because when Mars and Rahu conjunction are taking place, that is the time it can spread very fast. I don't think it's a time to put our guard down. And I think natural sunlight and vitamin D and E and all these kind of things we must use. Because you see in Japan, very few people have died. They're not even using the mask, etc. So I feel there's a ray of hope in 2021. It's not going to be as bad as a lot of doomsday predictors are predicting.
Okay.
And I feel that the vaccine part should do away with. Annual number 1, that is India's number this year. If you add 15 plus August plus 2021, we come to the single digit beginnings, a new kind of environment. Everybody is going to be a little uncertain. But this vibration is gradually going to settle down by the month of August. So if that is what is in your mind, you want to ask when normalcy is going to come, it's going to be after the month of August, let's say September.
So latter half of 2021, and I'm glad
Yes.
you, Sheila, and Nandita put out this message that we cannot lower our guard. Very important that we continue to fight this pandemic, remaining aware and doing everything we can to protect ourselves from a virus. You know, I'm sure all of you will agree that every single time someone asks for a prediction from a year, it used to be concerned about wealth, about health, perhaps secondary. Right now, everyone's only talking primarily about health because of this pandemic. Now that we've got your predictions about when really we can see the end of coronavirus, when the vaccine will come, I want to shift focus to wealth also. And Sheila, I'm going to start with you. There's been a lot of concerns about India's economy as well in the last 1 year because of the pandemic, how the lockdown also made so many people suffer, a loss of jobs, etc. What's your prediction now for the next 12 months with regards to Indian economy? Will there be a revival?
Okay, to begin with, I'm looking at the cards and I'm also going to combine that with the numbers and the planets. I do see that the first part of the year is going to be a little tough. There's going to be a lot of, I continuously mention the word chaos because that's what it looks like. There is a dip in the initial part of the year, but the second half of the year looks very positive, and I see like things are going to change for the better, and I see that people are going to pick themselves up. The economy is going to be is going to improve.
Okay.
There's going to be new beginnings that are going to happen. There are going to be new avenues that are going to open up. Things are going to get a little, more accelerated towards the second part of the year. So the cards look very positive. I also do see that things will improve. Let's say post April and June, around that time is when things are going to pick up. But the first part is going to be a little slow, and I don't see much improvement in the first part of the year. So the economy overall is good.
Okay, so that's what most experts also have said, that it is going to take some time. Perhaps later in the year we'll see a difference. Nandita, would you agree with that prediction that maybe post-April, post-June is when really we'll see a revival of the economy? A lot of questions also about employment opportunities this year.
Yeah, I would fairly agree to that, and especially if I come down to India's chart when on 15th of August 1947, and as we got independence, the ascendant was Taurus and Rahu is in the ascendant, and the house of earning is ruled by Mercury. Now, in the chart, the Vinshotari Dashas, at the moment, the chart runs is the Mahadasha of Moon, which is good because Moon is in its own sign. And we were running Moon and Saturn. So Moon and Saturn together creates a Visha Yoga, which is called as a poison yoga, which is like very troublesome. 10th of July 2021 onwards, we enter into Moon Mercury Dasha. Mercury is also the lord of the Mool Trikon, placed in the house of strength, house of communication. Okay. So because of its international communications or international relation, I see the economy picking up after that, not before that. Before that, there'll be some troubles or the other. And Jupiter's transition is not favoring India right now. Jupiter's transition would only favor India after April 2022. So it will be like almost a little takeoff stage, and by mid 2022 onwards, a lot of things will improve. But in India, education, agriculture, because the new Samvatsar, the king and the prime minister both are Mangal, that is Mars. So because of that, there could be some border tensions, but otherwise, agricultural areas, real estate properties, because of Mercury Dasha coming in, so travels, communications, media, these are the areas which will publishing area. These are the areas which will start picking up. Education is an area which will start picking up. So I see a lot of growth patterns also coming up. First half of the year could be a little slow,
okay.
But 10th July 2021 onwards, India enters into a better Dasha period, and that is where things will start picking up for India.
I will delve into that deeper on the issues of national security and politics for India. What really are the predictions? Before that, Anupam, I want your view also on the economic trajectory that's expected this year, not just for India, but globally also.
I think 2021, because it adds to 5 is Mercury. Mercury stands for business. And this is going to be a very slow kind of revival. There will be shoots of growth, and suddenly again there will be periods of contraction. And according to me, it's going to take a full 2 years for the cycle to turn. And the 77th year, when India enters the 77th year, the period between 23 2023 to 24, that is the real period when India starts doing very well. Because Jupiter is the natural karak of economy, and that is combust for some time in January and February. Okay, even if Jupiter moves ahead from Saturn, we still have the Saturn transit, which is not good, and the Antardasha of Saturn is there, as Nandita said, till July 21. And Moon, Mercury Dasha. As we are talking about the Mercury year, India will be commencing a Mercury Antardasha from July 2021 to December 2022. So I think the period what we have lost in the pandemic, gradually a lot of businesses have been wiped off. Slowly, these will start, trying to establish themselves. It's going to be a fast year. And for the stock markets also, there's going to be quite a lot of high and low. And silver will do very well. Even the commodities, the gold, I see doing very well because it is connected with some political instability. I mean, international border instability. We'll talk about it later, but this is about it. I have good news for the economy.
So you're saying there will be a revival in 2021 itself?
But latter half, in the third quarter, in fact.
Okay. So essentially things are going to be slow in the beginning.
No. The Mercury is combust now also. And the transits are not very good because Rahu is sitting in India's Lagna. There is a Rahu return. Rahu is in India's Lagna. And last time when it had come to even all the years which you see, 1975, 2002, 2020, Rahu was in Taurus. And these difference between like the Sikh agitation which took place, the Khalistan movement, in 1984. Similar kind of thing happened now. 1975, there were kind of problems. So all these are connected with this Rahu return. So this Rahu is not going anywhere. It is here very much in Taurus throughout the entire year. We cannot discount this factor. Rahu is very, very significant.
Okay, so that is the prediction for the economy. We've covered health, we've covered wealth. I want to focus now on India, the political leadership, the politics of India. Nandita, you were making a point on that. Any instability that you see for the current political leadership?
See, the current political leadership, if I talk about the center, yes, I think they're going to be stable now. But there's one point of concern that I would want to portray here. And if all the political leaders, be it any party, I'm not talking about any specific leadership. It can be leaders, political leaders, or presidents of political parties. From 19th of September 2021 to 12th of April 2022. Now, that's the period when Rahu enters into Kritika Nakshatra. So when Rahu enters into Kritika Nakshatra, Kritika Nakshatra is ruled by Sun. So Rahu and Sun together creates an ecliptical form. Now, if we go back to the history, 1947-48, Rahu Kritika, and we lost Mahatma Gandhi ji. So Bapu had sudden attack. Now, this is a phase, I don't say life threats like attacks, but yes, there could be life threats in any form. It can be health issue, it can be anything. But the top leaders of India are at risk of their life from this phase that I'm saying, talking about mid-September to 12th of April 2022. It's not a good time for them to be in. They need to take care of themselves and they need to, secure up their securities and check and recheck things up. The turbulence for political leaders or political instability will not happen much in 2021. The reason being, we do have 4 eclipses in 2021, but they're not really affecting and impacting India as such. They're impacting the European countries, the United States, Canada, more importantly, Australia and the Antarctica belt and Southeast Asia. So these are the areas where the economy will downslide, where things will be very, very turbulent compared to India. India still is on a safer zone right now. So the political leadership will still be better. But there can be border tensions because Mars, the king and the prime minister, both are Mars, and Mars goes to the 12th house of India's horoscope. So when it goes to the 12th house, it also rules the foreign lands. So somewhere there can be confrontations that might escalate up, but at the end of the entire thing, India wins over. Whatever confrontation.
So you're saying there's no political instability as such.
I don't see a political instability as such, but I see political leaders' life threat, yes.
Okay. Sheila, one of the questions that very often comes up almost every single year is with regards to Prime Minister Modi's leadership, about an effective opposition, etc. Is something going to change on that front? Are we going to see, perhaps a big opposition leader countering the Prime Minister?
Not really.
Okay, I do see a lot of betrayal, and I do see a lot of things happening in the background. I do kind of conspiracy that's going to be cooking in the background. But I don't see anything changing. I mean, his energy is stronger than ever, so I don't see anything changing. He's sort of unshakable. But he really, really needs to watch out for his health. I do agree with Nandita. I do see that on the cards. And I do see, as a combination of numerology and tarot, I'm also seeing that it is very, very crucial for him to take care of his health and also be shielded and kind of just be safe and protected, because that's the only cause of danger that I see for him is health wise, some kind of a conspiracy brewing in the background, but he's unshakable. Nothing's going to really touch him. I think, whatever their efforts are, I mean, whatever efforts are going to be there in the background are not going to be very successful. And I don't think there's going to be any issue with the leadership of the country. So I see the
Okay.
cards are looking good. And I also see, the magician card here, which shows that he's actually going to be, I don't know, ruling, and his energies are really, really exalted. So in that aspect, I see it's really great. There's going to be a huge change that's going to happen September, October, November, which is going to be great for the country. So I do see that as a whole new beginning and a new phase. I also see that there are going to be some changes in policies that are going to happen, that he's going to create and change.
Okay.
I also see implementation of new ideas that are going to come forth. And I do see that the economy is, as a result, going to get impacted in a positive way because of these new policies.
Okay, fingers crossed that actually happens. I also want to focus, and Anupam, I'd like to bring you in on this. The fact that there are a lot of state elections that are happening this year, and there's a lot of focus.
I would like to complete the Prime Minister's.
Yes, on that point, if you also
Yes.
with that, you add on with regards to the elections that are going to be happening this year. The Prime Minister's fortunes, as Nandita and Sheila are saying, are looking very good. So the BJP will be hoping that maybe that means the predictions are in their favor for the elections also.
See, not necessarily, but I feel the period for Mr. Modi is slightly difficult till May because
Okay.
his Venus Antardasha is taking place, which is not a very good planet for him. Then we
Okay.
have Moon and Sun Antardasha starting for him. Sun, of course, is very powerfully placed in his chart in the House of Gains from May 21 to November 21. And then a very, very significant thing is Mars Mahadasha starts. His Mars is sitting in the Lagna. He's Vrishika Lagna, Scorpio Lagna. And his moon is also in Scorpio. So that is going to be the pinnacle of his career, and that's a good 7 years ahead. But I feel that if you look at his signature, Modi is the man of the moment. 48845. You see his signature. If anybody of you can put it on the screen, I've sent you a visual. All these numbers have ruled his each and every important event of his life. And he's running annual number 4. When you add 17 September to 2021 and reduce it, you get 4. In numerology, 4 is a number of growth. It's a number that is good for him. And I would say his card numbers also add to a 4. There are 1111. The other card number is 571. It also adds to 13 is equal to 4. So I feel that Mr. Modi is going to have a very great period ahead. And these problems are connected with the country, which he is also going to have to face at the moment. Health is going to be a bit of a concern.
Okay.
And I think internationally also he's going to be playing a much more important role now. Health, yes, I feel that he needs to take care in the latter part of the year, and especially when Ketu will be Rahu and Ketu axis, and even Saturn when it has a opposition to his. You asked one question about is there an alternative to him? Yes,
Yeah.
when Saturn would be opposing his Sun, and that is the time I feel that Arvind Kejriwal and one or two other leaders may stand up, but Kejriwal's chart I feel is a stronger chart for him. But I don't think in his lifetime he has anything to worry until he decides to step down.
But Anupam, when we talk about what's expected this year, there's a big Bengal election. So what does it look like in that front?
I think they're going to, BJP is going to fare pretty well in the Bengal elections, though I have not had a particularly closer look at with the Bengal elections. I generally don't now study state elections.
Okay.
After the EVMs have come into, so it's better But I feel that Mr. Modi's time is better in the second half.
Okay. Anupam, Sheila and Nandita, this is a very, very insightful conversation. I request all of you to stay on with us because on the other side of a very short break, we're going to focus on some other aspects, the issue of national security. We're also going to delve a little into sports, into entertainment. Stay with us. We're slipping into a very short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. What can you expect from 2021? I know a lot of you have just one question, and that is about health, about the pandemic. We've discussed that in great detail with our guests, with our astrologers who are joining us on this broadcast, and they've said that we must keep our guard up. This pandemic hasn't gone yet and will be with us, unfortunately, for the next few months at least. I just want to reintroduce our guests. We've got Anupam Kapil, celebrity astronumerologist, also with us, Sheila M. Bajaj, a celebrity numerologist, and finally, we have Nandita, who is an astrologist as well as a tarot guide. Nandita, I want to come to you. You know, you had briefly touched upon the issue of national security. In 2020, there was a lot of tension along the line of actual control. There was also tension with Pakistan. Will things simmer down on that front?
Yeah, they would simmer down quite a lot, but then from 13th of April onwards, and especially the summer period, and you know, even in the China escalation that happened last year, I was talking about it in my year-ender shows 2019-20, and I was saying that there will be escalation from northeast areas of the Indian subcontinent, and especially the Tibetan plateau and Leh Ladakh area. So because the eclipse path was passing through that. Now in summers this year, the eclipses are there, but eclipse path is not crossing over, but Mars is positioned on the 12th house. Because of that, there could be an escalation. I would still rate escalations on the extreme northeast area, the Arunachal belt from Nepal, Sikkim to Arunachal belt. And there could be some turbulence, could be natural calamities on the south-east border of India and to the east, southeast and south border. And Pakistan and Indo-Pakistan area would be a turbulent area, either via terrorist attacks or something or the other. I still perceive more than China, this will be an area that could be a troublesome area, and India would need to look into this aspect. Whereas China is concerned, it will be through dialogues or something or the other. The escalation, even if it comes, will subside down. I would also come back to one point which we were discussing before the break, and we were talking about the Bengal elections.
Yeah.
And my analysis is BJP will improve, but Mamta Didi still wins. I think she'll still come over for whatever surprising factors. And after 6th of April, a lot of changes will come in her favor and things will happen for her.
The BJP will be hoping that isn't the case. Sheila, what's your prediction? You know, just touching upon again the Bengal elections, because I didn't have a chance to ask both of you on that.
I'm going to touch upon what's happening with, because I've pulled out the cards for what's happening with, you know, the escalations with China.
Sure.
Things going to get better.
Yep.
Things are going to get escalated before they get better, but things are going to smoothen out on that level. I am going to pick out some cards, and I'm also looking at what's going to happen with the Bengal elections. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of, I do see a fight. I do see, you know, the cards are not showing me like some very happy energies. It's showing me some kind of a conflict there. But ultimately, I think it will be, you know, I think the Bengal elections will have a good outcome. It will be, whatever happens will be good for the state. And, you know, and I think like there's just going to be a huge progressive move as far as the country is concerned. You know, I do see BJP having, you know, some kind of dominance, and, you know, they're going to come out victoriously in terms of, you know, whatever strategy they're trying to put forward. And I also see very, very strong women cards in the Bengal election. So yeah,
will that translate to a Mamta Didi, you know, advantage, because she is really all the woman power we're talking about in Bengal. But let me go back to the issue of national security and bring in Anupam as well. Anupam, do you think there'll be further escalation with China? What does it look like, particularly along the LAC?
Last year also had predicted about this. In fact, since many years, since a decade back, In fact, since 2020, I've been saying that the biggest enemy for India is going to be China. And one of my important predictions has been, even I have taken into account Nostradamus prophecies, that China shall be the number one power in the world by 2025. But then it will also be the beginning of its downfall because of its expansionist schemes. They will militarily and economically become the number one power in the world. And in doing so, they are going to not respect the hegemony of the other geographical territory. They'll keep on capturing of all their neighbors and all. And this is going to make very powerful enemies, even US and Europeans. There's going to be a war between, I should not be saying this on a new year, between two faiths. I will not name the two faiths, but India is going to play such an important role in this, and this will be the commencement of the rise of India as a
This will be in 2021, this year.
Countries, but this will be by 2027. India will reach that position, and this is going to be the beginning. 2027 to 2030 is going to be the period where China will start falling into and breaking into pieces. And you see, this Kal Chakra, after 100 years, 1920s, you see, was very famous. Now we are in the 2020s, the decade of the 2020s. 1920s, you had the rise of Hitler, Mussolini, then Communist Russia, Bolshevik Party, and so many things, the Great Depression. So we are in the 20s now. 20s are ruled, the decade is ruled by moon. So we are going to have a lot of volatility. There's not going to be peace across the globe. And basis is going to be religious demarcation. This was also predicted by me in 20 years back. So now Europe meaning France, England are going to be specially affected adversely by all these kind of events. But India will have a strong leadership, though there is going to be a lot of catharsis and a lot of internal problems like what we are seeing in Delhi and all these things. But by the end of this year and next year, as progressively we go on moving year after year, going to consolidate.
No, so
Many people are very negative about the whole thing, but I don't think so. There is any reason to be negative.
So overall, to get a sense, in 2021, is it a good year for foreign relations?
No, the first half, especially March to May, this period is going to be a little tricky for India, especially with China, and Northeast is going to be vulnerable. And for India, I would have suggested to do the Indra Yag like what I suggested last time also. But we have been taking a offensive defensive kind of policy, and that's very good for India. Otherwise, always we were seeing and reading news where the Chinese are just capturing territory and not moving back. At least we are making a noise and we are blocking further moves. See, nobody can stop China from taking more territory also, if I were to put it that way. But they will be repulsed, and later on, all that has gone will come back. Bangladesh, incidentally, is going to, we have to play up properly with Bangladesh, because it's going to be a very, very key role in helping India. It might sound very surprising from the international diplomatic and foreign relation point of view, because Bangladesh has not been a very reliable kind of country with us. But in this particular game against China, Bangladesh will play a very important role, surprisingly.
Okay. We've spoken about several issues concerning the country, particularly on national security, economy, etc. I'm sure a lot of viewers right now will want to know which sun sign will really thrive in this year. So, Anupam, if you could respond on that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Which sun sign will thrive in 2021?
Okay. I have got all the sun signs, but do you want me to talk about all of them in one go?
No, if you could just tell us, in brief, because we don't have much time.
Yeah, because it would be unfair to leave out the others. I'll just quickly tell you.
Sure.
Very quickly, I'll tell you the year roundup in 2 sentences.
Yeah.
For Aries, I think it's a very eventful year. Changes and displacement in profession is possible. But because of the Saturn effect in Capricorn, March 15 to April 15 is a tough period. April and to mid-September is good. Finances, a lot of fluctuation. July, August is good for property. For health, diseases will be treated, but not completely cured. So I want them to take care in Jan, June, August, and December as far as health is concerned.
Okay.
Now let's come to Taurus. Taurus, Rahu is placed in the Lagna. It is going to create some kind of illusion, marriage, partnership, relationship, and March, April. this is a little troublesome period for them. Also May. And financially, the good period is from January to April. Now, April and to mid-September, there can be some fall in position, but this will be protected. But there is going to be some kind of reputation loss during this period. We come to Gemini. Gemini is the most affected of all the Rashis because 8th house has Shani and Guru, both of these planets. But luck will shine in March, April, and July to October. Some remedies advised for Ashtam Shani. Then we go to Cancer. For Cancer, we see major drama in the health sector because of the 6th and 7th Lord and all Saturn and Sun combining there. Not a very good period for marriage and partnerships. You have to be a little bit careful. Misunderstandings are possible between March to May. So contacts you are going to gain in this particular year are going to be very, very useful, and work and profession get affected slightly. But despite all these kind of the little adverse kind of phases also, Rahu is supporting you and it will bail you out towards the end of the year.
Okay.
As far as Leo is concerned, I feel that the 6th house Saturn is going to play an important role in destroying your enemies, and there are opportunities for you waiting in April, May and September. So encash them, and Rahu is well positioned to help you in your career. On the health aspect, I think a combust 8th Lord Jupiter and Saturn, it says that you should take care of the arterial system of the body and manage your diet properly so that your liver is taken good care of, especially between May and September. Saturn and Jupiter in the 5th house, I see career break and good news in May, June, September and October, and good for monetary gains. Overall, a good year for Virgo. April, May, there is some affliction of Mars and Rahu. So that time there may be problem with neighbors and through communication, emails, SMSs, etc. Take care. We come to Libra. In Libra, we have Saturn and Jupiter in the 4th house, and I see good support from the family. But there will be, you'll have to compromise in some humiliating kind of circumstances. Don't try to be contentious. And professional opportunities, July, August, November, and December. This is a good period. Rahu in the 8th house will cause extreme fluctuations in your finances. And health, I say April, May, and September, there may be some diseases which you will have to take care of. Now we come to Scorpio. There are many challenges which are confronting you because Saturn, despite Saturn is well placed, Rahu in the 7th house and Jupiter in the 3rd, they bring a lot of opposition and litigation. However, the period ahead, on a good note, is full of achievement and fame, getting rid of ailments. But it's going to be, you will have to fight all these negative things and then get success. We come to Sagittarius. Saturn and Jupiter is in the house of finances, so it is putting a strain on your finances. You have to spend only on what is necessary, and it brings more financial security. April, August to October will see you get new breaks, and Rahu transit in your 6th house helps you win litigation and win over enemies. Surgeries you should avoid in May and December. Coming to Capricorn. Capricorn, yes, this is the earth sign in which the grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter has just taken place. And see, irrespective of other difficult transits, you'll have to work very hard this year. And I feel that you're going to make very good contacts this year. You must capitalize on this. And for your gains, February, March, October, and November are very good months. And I would specially advise that grey and black colors should not be worn in this year. And for children, if they are suffering from ill health, a small half crescent silver should be worn in the neck. As far as health is concerned, the sensitive period is January, then 15th May to 15th June, and 15th August to 15th September. Now, let's come to Aquarius. So minor issues are there in your career. Some old woman is going to come into your life. Some contact is going to be there. Rahu is in your 4th house. So mental state, mother, happiness, vehicles, property, all these will be the focus this year. Property disputes must be settled amicably, even if it means giving a little more money, because otherwise the litigation is going to prove loss-making for you and you'll have to shell out more money. Sudden transfers are possible because of the Mars Rahu conjunction in and February to April is a troublesome period. July to August, difficult with enemies. But however, the latter part of the year, May to September, very gainful. It shall compensate for whatever you lost in the first half of the year. Health, I say leg and bones, take care. Take a lot of sunlight and all, especially January, February, September are the weak months. Take a lot of calcium supplements, D3. And now we come to the last sign, that is Pisces. And I feel that the first half of 2021, especially marriage, new friendships and all, you can gain from them. And May to September is going to be stressful on the health front. So the 11th house has many planets, but Jupiter still combusts till February. So I feel that April, June, July, November are the months of gain for you, but you'll have to guard against some treachery. And Rahu's transit in the third house is very, very profitable for you. And mid-April to mid-September, when Jupiter aspects it, there'll be profitable short-term travels, and there'll be gain for communications, writing, neighbors, etc. And last but not the least is the health. Rahu Mars conjunction is talking about in March, April, that you have to be extremely cautious. There may be problems even with siblings during this period. And health point of view, November, December is the last period where you should take care. So overall, I've tried to give a short synopsis of this whole thing in a very rapid kind of way.
Thank you for that. It was very informative and also very, very concise, because we don't have much time also. Unfortunately, we can't go into great detail on every such sign. I just want to focus now on also the issue of sports and what really the Indian cricket team's performance is going to look like. Nandita, from you first, how does it look for the Indian cricket team this year?
See, as far as Virat Kohli as a captain is concerned, he is ruled by number 5. And because number 5 is also the number for this year, 2021, I think for Virat as a captain, it is going to be a good year for him. There'll be a lot of positive changes, though as the year begins, the Mercury is in combust. So initial stages, and as in one, Mercury will go combust all through the year. There'll be some downslides, but I feel that beyond the restlessness that they are having, things will start picking up for them from July onwards. So a lot of good things are happening for Indian cricket team, not to get disappointed. The restlessness that is there in them, that needs to be controlled, maybe through their psychoanalysis or whatever the team works on, to the coaches work on that aspect. They should focus on that area. Otherwise, the team is going to do well.
Okay, Sheila, for Virat Kohli, if I want to focus only on Virat Kohli, he is going to have, of course, a big boost personally, because he's going to become a father. But professionally speaking, is he going to, outdo himself from 2020?
Yes, I do see very positive cards for him. And like Nandita said, he is a number 5, and this year is a number 5 year ruled by Mercury. And it's like the jackpot year for everyone who's a number 5, also where Mercury is their friendly planet. So a very good year actually to make sort of changes in oneself. Overall, 2021 is going to be one of those years, and for Virat Kohli, it's going to be an upgrade. So there's going to be some kind of transformation. I also see a new beginning for him. I also see a new avenue, something new opening up for him. I think something's going to change in Virat Kohli as well. And it's going to be a jackpot year for him overall. He needs to watch out for emotional disappointment with regard to, probably close people, something that probably we wouldn't come to know. But only emotionally, I think he's going to have to be a little bit on guard. But otherwise, professionally, personally, with regard to becoming, going on the family way, I think he's, a lot of new things are going to happen for him. But, overall, it's going to be a very, very transformational and a rebirth year for him.
And hopefully that will translate to a big year for the Indian cricket team. And that will no doubt give so many fans reason to rejoice. Before I wrap this up, also to briefly touch upon also what we're expecting from our celebrities. And I think when I looked through social media, one of the questions that was asked most often, Anupam, if I can take this to you, is about Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt's marriage, because there's a lot of speculation that could happen this year.
It's been 3 times I predicted on your channel itself about Ranbir Kapoor. I'm not very happy to say that all of those predictions came right, because first he was going around with Deepika and then with Katrina Kaif. And at that time also I had very categorically said that his first name, Ranbir, adds to 13. And this is not a very fortunate name. And his destiny number is 3 and fate number is 1. Though his destiny number was matching with Deepika's destiny number, because of this name incompatibility, Ranbir being on 13, he had a problem. And I must tell you now, the people are talking about his marriage with Alia Bhatt. Unfortunately, even last year also had mentioned that Alia, her date of birth, 15 March 1993. Her destiny also matches but her Alia Bhatt adds to a 30, which is 4. I really feel that if these two people really want to get married, they have to do something with their names so that their names are in accord. Because 13 number is not a good number for love and romances. It does bring sudden breaks and misunderstandings, and that is what we have seen happening with Ranbir Kapoor all the time. In fact, he is also using a car which adds up to a 8. So for people whose names add up to a 4, they should try to avoid vehicles and even houses which add up to a 4 and 8, because you're simply increasing the fatalistic indication of Saturn and Rahu. And Saturn, I don't think it is a good, Ranbir needs to change his name somewhat. Because even Katrina has 16, the Shattered Citadel. For Katrina also had been saying since the last 10 years that she should change the way she spells her name or how she pronounces her name. Because spellings don't matter, but the pronunciation does matter. Because numerology is about phonetics. It's not about spellings. Contrary to what people think in India, that if you put an extra I or A, your fortune changes. No, that is superstition. See, you may be Priya, but unless if there is the H coming after Priya and somebody calls you Priya, so that phonetic is important, because our names are in the Devanagari script. In the Devanagari script, there's no way you can alter and write the name in any other way. It will become spoiling the grammar. You can't do that. So I think you should just Ranveer and Ranbir. Those two vibrations are different.
Okay.
So
from what you're saying, there may not necessarily be reason for fans to celebrate, but we'll see what really happens. So, Anupam, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Thanks to Sheila and Nandita as well. Over the last 1 hour, this has been a very, very insightful conversation. Gives you a sense really of what we can expect in 2021. But what's very, very clear, and I'm sure everyone is asking one question about the pandemic, about coronavirus. What's very clear from also this conversation that we've had, from what scientists, astrologers, what everyone says, is that we cannot let our guard down going into 2021. Yes, we have reason to rejoice that the nightmare that was 2020 has ended, but we must ensure that we remain cautious to ensure that this year perhaps is better for all of us. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I'm slipping into a very short break. Thank you for watching.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.